what you might not know about Mont-Saint-Michel, France's famous monastery. And we're going to hop right into it. Original link will be in the description. With that being said, what's smoking on my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, greats, overachieving, never slacking. We flying back over to France, the beautiful France. Here we go.
It looks like a movie set, but this island actually exists. You'll find it in Normandy, France. Mont-Saint-Michel, as it's called, is a social media sensation. But does it
Mont-Saint-Michel. Mont-Saint-Michel. Okay.
Live up to the hype? And are you aware of its many secrets?
Yeah, it's like, wow, how did they build this?
Amazing.
So cool. Que esté construido aquí encima de la nada.
Ja, gewoon het gebouw is mooi, hoe het gebouwd is, de muur eromheen.
From the outer route, you can see it from about 10-20 kilometers away. You can see the Mont-Saint-Michel.
Het is ongelooflijk gewoon, unbelievable.
Mont-Saint-Michel was one of the most difficult construction projects of the Middle Ages, and when visiting today it can get very dangerous, but more on that later. Those who do arrive unscathed can discover many secrets.
Hello, I'm Anne. I'm guide in the Abbey of Mont-Saint-Michel for 9 years, and with those keys I'm going to show you secret places.
You can cross the 2-kilometre-long bridge to the island at low tide by foot or shuttle bus. Around 3.5 million visitors come here every year, so it can get pretty crowded.
My tip is to come in January or December, so it gets very, very quiet. You feel like almost alone in the village, and you get also very beautiful lights.
That's the best time to visit places, when it's not summer, right? When it's not vacation time or when everybody's there. Nah, you want to go there when it's just really you and you feel alone. That's when you're really going to be able to, I feel like, truly take in everything you need to take in. When it's a bunch of people around, that's a lot of energy draining you.
The landscape is beautiful here, and important tides as well, which is quite spectacular.
This is the West Terrace, where you'll find the Abbey Church entrance. It was built on this hill from the 11th century onwards. Many buildings are built or stacked on top of each other. How did they achieve this back in the day?
It's hard to believe how they built such buildings on the mount here. Mont-Saint-Michel is like a rocky cone, something like a pyramid. We are almost on the summit at 80 meters above the sea level. Try to imagine here a system of flat boats. According to the tides, those medieval builders brought all the construction materials on those flat boats, barges actually, from different places of Normandy, even from England.
There's a huge height difference between low and high tide in the bay, sometimes by as much as 14 meters. At low tide, you can walk to the island across the tidal flats, but it's best to go with a guided group, otherwise it can get dangerous.
Don't venture by yourself into the bay, because in the past, even quite recently, people can still get stuck in the bay because of those quicksands. And if you have still...
Well, that's actually pretty terrifying. Seriously, to get just stuck in there. Yeah, that's not something you want to do alone. No, no, no. Listen to this, lady.
Big proportion of water inside. It gets like a soak-in effect. If the tide is coming in, if you're alone, if you can't get out of those, potential quicksand, that could be dangerous.
Mont-Saint-Michel Abbey combines Romanesque and Gothic architecture. There are plenty of secrets waiting to be discovered here. But first, Anne leads us to this door.
And now, a little passage that not everybody gets to see, actually. We're gonna go higher into the abbey. So we are now on the terrace of the choir of the Abbey Church.
These flying buttresses are typical of Gothic architecture and are carrying weight on the outside. One of them is actually a passageway.
Well, this is here built on a flying buttress, the lace staircase. It's like lace design into the granite, and well, that was built back in the Middle Ages here. So you have actually here almost the top of the mount, the only access to the bell tower, just here on the left, and finally the Archangel Saint Michael on the very top, used also as a lightning rod, protecting against potential storms, lightning here.
I'm not gonna lie, that is some elite stuff right there. Just looking at it, even from all the way where I'm at in the Americas on a YouTube channel, I'm still like, whoa, you know, I'm impressed. So I could only imagine actually like being there and just looking at that. If you cherish things like that, like I'm somebody that really cherishes, you know, these type of beauties, these type of wonders of the world. So for me, this is really magnificent.
Also as a lightning rod, protecting against potential storms, lightning here, because that's what caused big damages in the past.
1,000 years ago, Benedictine monks lived here for many centuries. Today, the island is mainly a tourist attraction, but in the Middle Ages, scores of pilgrims flocked to the island. But guess what? A few monks and nuns actually still live here today.
Actually 5 monks and 7 nuns, altogether 12, and that having services 3 times a day. It's like the convention with the French government to do services into that monument, and in exchange they have a place for them, private obviously.
And lastly, time to reveal Mont-Saint-Michel's darkest secret. 2 isolation cells to lock up particularly serious offenders. From the French Revolution until the year 1863, the abbey was used as a prison.
You can see here inscriptions from probably prisoners that stayed here for long hours or long days of detention. Some of the prisoners actually wrote their years of sufferness in different places.
That's horrible. I mean, just being locked in there like that. I mean, you probably felt like, I mean, you were in hell. You were in hell. Simple. You were in hell. Being locked up like that in there, I just couldn't imagine. I feel like that's worse than being in a jail cell today. What is that? That's like it's a dungeon, pretty much. Even though I know, you know, there's certain prisons that are, you know, you might as well be in a dungeon. But just, oh man, to think that it would last forever, all those stuff they would carve into the wall, their spirit is still there, at least a piece of it.
Imagine how awful it was to stay here.
Much of what has happened on the island over the different centuries is yet to be researched, and some things will remain forever unknown. And so Le Mont-Saint-Michel remains a deeply mysterious place.
As it should, as far as what he said, with it remaining mysterious, deeply mysterious. I feel like not everything is to be given or told to the world. Sometimes I feel like when things are given to the world, it kind of loses magic in a sense, or loses power. In some cases, for sure. But I can only imagine how many stories there will be untold. I mean, just even looking at that dungeon right there, that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare. You never really know how horrible those things are unless you're in them. unless you spend 10 minutes sitting in there. Yeah, not fun at all. I'm sure there's horror stories as well as a lot of beautiful stories. You know, I'm sure that place has many, honestly, some real Game of Thrones stuff. Some real Game of Thrones stuff. Kind of look like Winterfell a little bit. Hold on. Which part was it? Let me see.
And some things will remain forever unknown.
right here. Little bit, tiny bit like Winterfell. They all kind of have that look. All these different castles and stuff, like a Hogwarts Winterfell type of look. That's why, like, I mean, the structures in Europe are they're just beautiful, extremely beautiful. But with that being said, that was Mont-Saint-Michel, Mont-Saint-Michel. You know, and what you might not know about Mont-Saint-Michel. So, original link will be in the description. I'll be back with more soon. Happy Sunday. Everybody enjoy your day today. And if you want more videos like this, don't hesitate to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. Much love.